You've dated different people, but somehow you keep ending up in the same relationship, physically present, emotionally unreachable.
They do everything right, except actually let you in. And when you try to talk about it, you end up feeling like you're the problem.
If that pattern sounds familiar, you might keep choosing covert avoidance without realizing it. Today, the 5 subtle signs that explain everything.
When most people think of an avoidance partner, they picture the obvious lone wolf, someone who openly says, I don't need anyone. But the covert avoidant is different. They've learned that to get by in the world, they need to perform connection.
Exactly. They're masters of surface level intimacy. They'll go to parties, remember your mom's birthday, say all the right things. But this performance is a protective shell, what we call manager parts in internal family systems therapy. It's a part of them that learned early on how to present a low maintenance, agreeable version of themselves to stay safe.
This manager part is incredibly skilled at keeping things looking good on the outside while protecting their vulnerable feelings, their exiles, from being accessed or hurt. The connection feels a mile wide, but an inch deep. And it's that lack of depth that leaves you feeling so alone.
Before we dive into the 5 signs, welcome to our community. I'm Tehrina Terry, and this is my partner, Joel Terry. We're both licensed therapists. Joel brings the science, and I bring the heart. If you're finding this video helpful, please subscribe for more videos on how to build healthy, secure relationships. And leave a comment or question below. I love spending time in the comments section, connecting with you all.
And stick around because we're going to show you exactly how to recognize these patterns so you can stop questioning yourself.
Sign number 1. They talk about feelings, but they don't feel feelings with you. You can have long, seemingly deep conversations about emotions, theories, relationship dynamics. They might even analyze their own childhood. But there's a critical difference. When you cry, they offer a logical solution instead of an empathetic hug. Intimacy remains a fascinating concept to be discussed, but not an emotion to be experienced together.
Fascinating. You have an efficient intellect, superior physical skills, no emotional impediments. There are Vulcans who aspire all their lives to achieve what you've been given by design.
And this is their manager part at work. It keeps everything intellectual and analytical as a way to maintain control and prevent those vulnerable exile parts from surfacing. It's protective, not malicious, but it creates that glass wall you feel. Sign number 2 is huge. They'll spend lots of time in the same room with you, which makes you feel guilty for wanting more. They'll sit next to you on the couch for 3 hours while you both scroll on your phones. They're physically present, but emotionally absent.
This creates such a confusing dynamic. You technically have quality time, but you leave that time feeling more disconnected than ever. And because they're there physically, your anxious attachment part starts wondering, am I asking for too much? Am I being unreasonable? No, you're asking for presence, not just proximity.
Sign number 3. Covert avoidants are often incredibly giving. They'll help you with a project, fix your car, buy you thoughtful gifts. But this generosity can be subconsciously used to keep the emotional score even. It sends the message, I do so much for you. How can you possibly ask for something more, like emotional vulnerability?
This is another manager strategy. Acts of service become a substitute for emotional intimacy. It's not that they don't care, they do. But their system has learned that doing is safer than feeling. And this can make you feel incredibly selfish for wanting to connect with their heart, not just their helping hands.
Sign number 4 to an anxious partner can feel like a dream at first. They never fight. But you soon realize that they agree to things just to end the conversation. They'll say, you're right, I'll work on it, to de-escalate. But there's no actual change in behavior.
And this isn't true harmony. It's a strategy to manage the threat of emotional intensity and get back to a comfortable, neutral distance as quickly as possible. Their manager parts are brilliant at diffusing situations before feelings get too big. But what you need isn't agreement. You need genuine engagement. And that difference will eventually drive you crazy.
And number 5, after months or even years, You realize you know their entire resume, their favorite foods, their story of their third grade field trip, but you have no idea what they're actually afraid of. You don't know what makes them feel deeply insecure or profoundly joyful. They've given you a perfectly curated fact sheet about their life, but they've never given you access to the messy, vulnerable human feelings inside.
In IFS language, you've met their manager parts extensively, the competent, organized, presentable parts. But their exiles, the young, vulnerable parts that carry their deepest wounds and deepest emotions, remain locked away. And those exiles are where real intimacy lives. If you're recognizing these patterns and want to understand how your own parts react when you feel this lack of connection, our Meet Your Inner Team assessment can help. It's free, and it will show you which parts of you get activated in dynamics like this. The link is in the description.
So, what's the psychological mechanism at play here? The psychoanalyst D.W. Winnicott developed the concept of true self and false self. The true self is our authentic core being, spontaneous, vulnerable, and real. The false self is a protective persona we develop to comply with external demands and protect our vulnerable true self from being hurt or rejected. For many with an avoidant attachment history, their childhood environment was not safe enough for their true self to be seen. Perhaps their emotions were dismissed, minimized, or punished, so they built a highly competent, agreeable, low-maintenance false self to navigate the world safely. The covert avoidant is someone whose false self is incredibly well-developed and successful. They don't run from relationships. Their false self excels at them on a superficial level. The tragedy is that their true self remains locked away. When you try to get close, you're not being pushed away by their real self. You're being managed and kept at a distance by their highly skilled, protective false self. This connects directly to what we see in internal family systems. Their manager parts have become so dominant that their authentic self and their vulnerable exiles can't come forward, even when they want to.
So let's get to the heart of it. There's a unique and maddening loneliness that comes from lying next to someone every night, feeling like you're 1,000 miles away. It can make you question your own sanity. You think, they're a good person. The problem must be me. My needs must be unreasonable. So please hear this. Your need for emotional intimacy is not unreasonable. It is a fundamental human need. What's so painful about this dynamic is that you're not in love with their false self, the competent, agreeable performer. You fell in love with the glimmers of their true self that you saw peek through the cracks. And you spend the relationship trying to get back to that person, believing if you are just loving enough or patient enough, you can make them feel safe enough to come out again. But you cannot love someone out of the protective shell they've built to survive. Only they can make that choice to do the terrifying work of letting their true self be seen. Your work is to stop abandoning your own feelings. Your work is to honor that feeling of loneliness and valid as important data. It's your heart's way of telling you that while you may be receiving provision, you're not receiving presence, and you deserve both.
This is such a confusing and isolating experience. If this video sheds some light on your own relationship dynamic, please give it a like. It truly helps the video reach others who might be feeling just as lost.
And we'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these 5 signs resonated most with your experience? Sharing your story can be so validating for others.
And don't forget to check your inbox on Wednesdays for our weekly relationship email. We share practical tips to keep you growing between videos. And if you're not already receiving them, see the description below to sign up.
Up next, we're talking about what to do when you realize you're in this dynamic, how to bring it up without causing them to retreat even further. In the meantime, check out this video.
Subscribe and take care of your heart. And remember, you're not alone. We're all in this
Together.